Right?
Yes.
Settled? No?
Oh, she wants to be famous, but she needs a haircut. Look at her little beard.
Go be your little busty Gus. There you go.
Why are you here? Do you want to be on this? Ooh, maybe we could put her blinky here.
There you go.
It's crusty. Yeah. Hang out with.
All right, so we've been talking the last couple weeks. We kind of went back to the basics with some math, which is both of our strong suits, and some odds.
Yes.
Some pot odds. So now we're swinging back around to apply those fundamentals that we've learned in this hand right here.
Okay.
So we've talked a lot about ranges and comparing our odds versus their ranges and stuff like that. So I thought this was a great hand from a guy named Buffalo Sam.
Okay.
Who is, a poker vlogger? Poker vlogger. And he does a good job of talking about his hands and stuff. So we're going to walk through this hand with him just for some context to this hand, because I think it's important. He's been losing for like 2 hours straight.
Okay.
Hasn't won a hand, I think he says, in a couple hours, which will speak to his play right here. But,
Okay.
Yeah, I've been sick the last couple days.
Yeah.
And I might sound weird. And, women will just never understand the pain a guy goes through
When
he
sick.
has a cold. It's just something that's just our burden to bear. You guys will never experience pain like that. So I don't know.
I feel so sorry for you.
I don't know how else to put it. So
I'm sorry I didn't make you chicken noodle soup.
Just All right, here we are. Buffalo Sam. So, been losing a few hours. Hands like Queen 9 start looking real good.
Okay.
Right? So, some context to this. I left the sound in, so we're going to be able to hear him talk, too. We are under the gun. Means what?
First to act.
There you go. So, we're first to act with Queen 9. What's your initial thoughts?
Queen 9 under the gun. Okay. Let me preface this by saying, if you've been card dead all night, it's almost like a mirage. Like, you're like, all right, well, I'm bored. This is a playable hand. But under the gun, that's just that. But under the gun, I would fold this.
You got to fold it.
Or just limp, see what the action is. And then if everybody limps, okay, cool. But if you get raised, immediately fold.
That's a horrible option. You're never just limping, hoping
you
everybody... You're basically giving away money.
I know, you punish the limpers, obviously. But or maybe just do a very small raise, like 15... What is this, 2.5?
This is 2.5.
Okay, yeah. Raise it up $15. See what the action is.
Yeah, and obviously I think we're both on the same page that Queen 9 is a fold.
Yeah.
Under the gun.
Under the gun.
If you're on the button or the cutoff, maybe you could play it. But Queen 9, just got to fold it. But Buffalo Sam, he's been losing a little bit.
Yeah.
So he's deciding to play it here. So he does. Let's see what happens here.
We've not won a pot yet, but we are going to do our best to win on this and open the...
So he does raise it up to 15.
Okay.
So we're
Just
following
like
your
what I thought.
strategy right there. Just a small raise, right?
All
So,
right.
yeah, I think under the gun, typically, like let's say he had aces under the gun, you're raising big, right? Because you don't want 10 people in with your aces.
Yeah, because it's never going to win, ever.
So that's a little tell to me that he only raised it to 15 right there, that he's not a great hand. Because if he had aces, he would have made it 30 or something. I think.
Clubs under
All right.
to 15.
We're at our favorite place here, the Wynn.
Yep.
But it's only to 40. Hold back to me for that.
All right, did we see what just happened right there?
Okay, the hijack is the one next to the small blind.
Hijack, cutoff,
Okay.
button.
Okay. Small.
So he's right before the button.
He's right before the button.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So he's late position.
Okay.
Late position. So he 3-bet us,
Okay, to 40.
but to $40.
Yeah, I make the call.
You got to make the call. at
Yeah,
this
you
point,
make the
right?
call.
You already put 15 in. It's a small raise. Obviously, you're not happy about it, but late position, it's a wider range raise. So I don't think there's any other play here but to just call with our queen nine and hope we get lucky.
Okay, hold on. Gotta silence my phone here.
Oh, we're
I apologize.
blowing up.
Boop.
All right.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So did he already just call? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
where
he
we're at.
makes the
Not
call.
going anywhere, especially against a player like this. So I toss in the call.
Okay.
Okay.
Heads up says block, which comes down 9-8-3.
All right. 9-8-3, and we're first to act. So we
Yeah.
hit top pair.
Pair. Yep.
What are you thinking? Now remember pre-flop action. The guy 3-bet us. We just called. Now it's on us. What
I'm
are we
gonna
doing?
check it to him.
Okay. I think I do too. I'm hoping at this point he's got ace king, ace queen, ace jack. Hopefully not hearts. So I'm gonna check it to him, see what he does,
Yeah.
and then evaluate. So let's see what Buffalo Sam likes to do.
One spade and 2 hearts. I check it over and
Yep,
he makes
exactly
a pretty
what we
large bet
say.
here of 55.
All right, so he
Ooh.
bets 55 into like a $90 pot.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, over half size
Mhm.
pot bet there. What are your thoughts?
He connected maybe with this. He could be on a draw with this. But I'm paired. I don't think, I have a pair here. I'm going to just make the call.
Yeah, I agree. So we are paired. We can't fold just yet, but we are able to define his range a little bit better based on what you said, right? So what are we putting him on right now?
We're putting him on a draw. So it could be a flush draw. This is a little straighty, maybe like a jack 10, 6, 7, something along those lines. Maybe even paired with the 3 or the 8, 7, 8.
So I would take those out,
Okay, am I
because
wrong?
because he 3-bet us pre-flop. If he
Okay.
just would have called pre-flop,
Okay.
I would put the 7, 8, ace 3,
Okay.
9, 10 hands in there.
Okay.
But because he 3-bet us pre-flop, I put him on a more
Strong.
narrow range, right? So
King,
in my
queen,
head,
ace,
I still, in my head, I make the call, but for different reasons than you, because I'm hoping he's got ace king, ace queen, ace jack.
Okay.
I hope he has maybe a smaller pair, pocket 7s, pocket
Okay.
5s, as those might 3-bet late
Okay.
position. But you brought up a good point. That's a big bet.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps us narrow it down too. Because would he make that big bet with a marginal hand, like pocket 5s, pocket 6s? Probably not.
Okay.
So it tells me he semi likes his hand a little bit. So you got to call once. I'm not folding yet because now I've narrowed his range farther, because that's a big bet, to ace king of hearts, ace jack of hearts, ace 10 of hearts, something like that.
Okay.
Or aces, kings, queens, jacks, 10s, right? So
Okay.
I've narrowed his range further. So now I'm just going to call and see what happens on the turn.
Alrighty.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Are we in agreement?
Yeah, now that you said that,
Okay.
it educated me a little bit.
See, I educate people.
And I think versus this size, I'm less inclined to be check raising.
Okay.
Also, queen 9's not really one of the hands you want to check raise. You want your opponent to have like king queen, and you turn the queen, and then they just barrel off into you.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go for a call here.
Okay. So he agrees with us, goes for a
Ace
call.
of diamonds, not a great card. I check it over.
Ace of diamonds.
Not what I want to see.
Obviously not what you want to see, right? Because all those hands we were hoping he had with ace X of
Yeah.
hearts now has a better hand than
Okay.
us, right? But what are you doing here?
Again, check it on
Yeah,
over,
'cause
see what he does.
Back to pre-flop, we're in such a bad spot
Yeah.
here, right? This is why you don't play queen 9
Yeah.
out of position,
Yeah.
right? Because you rarely make the
Ugh.
nuts.
Yuck.
And now you got to play out of position in these tricky spots. So we set ourselves up for failure here
Yeah.
by playing queen 9. Now we're in a tough spot. So obviously we check over.
And let's see what he does.
Let's see what he does. Oh no!
Oh no! Technical difficulties.
Okay, we're back.
And surprised to see my opponent check this one back.
Ooh.
All right.
Wow.
Check, check.
Okay.
Now, what are we thinking? Hold on, let's see what river card comes out first.
Okay.
It feels like he's got maybe 10s through kings now. Maybe another 9. It really feels like
He
10s
wouldn't
through
have a
kings
9.
anyways.
Come on,
Whereas the
that's
river,
terrible.
it is a 7 of spades. So
All right. 7 of spades on the river.
Mm-hmm.
The check on the turn. We're squeezing the range there a little bit, right? We're squeezing the range. Because, well, I'll let you talk. What are you thinking? What are you thinking here? We're first to act. I don't want to talk you into a decision here, so.
Yeah, he definitely does not have an ace.
Okay.
So, king, queen, suited, right? Queen, jack.
Let's put the whole hand into context from pre-flop up until now.
But yeah, he
you
does.
Decipher
so now
this.
I can just put him on a pocket pair at this point.
Okay. All right. What are we thinking?
It's, 6. I really don't know. But I think he
well,
kept
think
barreling.
back to pre-flop.
Yeah, yes.
He
raised.
3-bet.
Yeah, so it's a good pocket pair, I would say.
Okay.
7, since he's in late position, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up.
Okay. Yep, I would agree.
Yeah, so, but the ace scared him.
Okay.
But he could still have a better pocket pair than
Okay,
me.
beautiful analysis. Couldn't have said it better myself. Okay. That's exactly what I'm thinking here. He's got kings, queens, jacks, 10s here. He's scared of the ace because he checked. Because remember, we put him on that range of ace, X of hearts or whatever. Doesn't have that because why would he bet when the ace came, right?
So now you should bet here.
Because we're losing to all those hands, right? Yes. But he's shown weakness. That we could have the ace.
We can have an ace.
Right? And then kings through whatever
are dead.
We could put him to a decision here. So what do you think? What's the pot here? 197. But this is a great representation of putting him on a range. And I mean, we have a pair, we have showdown value, but because we put him on the range of kings through 10s, we have to bet.
Yeah, we have to bet
and check, we're just going to lose.
We have to represent now an ace with the weak kicker is what we're going to represent here because that still beats him. So I am going to make a sizable bet here.
I think you should. How much you think?
Put a lot of pressure on
him. $200 in the pot.
Okay. Put a lot of pressure on him. I'm not going to overbet the pot. I would make but he's shown kind of bit of, I don't want to say weakness, but I would make a pot size bet to put the pressure on him.
So $200?
Yeah.
I think you're close. Yeah, I probably would too. 200 to 250, just symbolizing that, like, hey, I've got it.
Yeah.
Type of.
You don't have the ace. I have like an ace 3 hand.
Or even I've got 10 jack.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I would have played 10 jack the same way, right? So
giving him the straight.
We've excluded 10 jack from his range, so we could have 10 jack. And the nut straight got there, so I'm making the bigger bet and putting kings, queens, 10s into a blender here. So let's see what he says.
I check it over, and my opponent.
Why would you do that?
Too much time and throws out a very large bet of 150.
So he checked the river.
So I'm gonna check raise.
Oh, okay.
So if he bet, then I'm gonna raise it up there.
I agree with you. Right? So we both would have bet, but maybe this guy is thinking next level above us. Yeah. Like if I check and he
raises me, then but then he could check back. But
that's what I think. Like with kings, wouldn't you just check back? Like maybe the ace got there. I'll just check back. So what hand is betting here? Right? You're either betting for value or you're bluffing. So what hand is bluffing? And what hand is betting for value? So he bets 150. So 3/4 pot there.
Okay.
What are we thinking now? So it's either a stone cold bluff, like a hand. And basically, the only bluff is like king, queen of hearts, right?
Right.
That's it. That's all I see. What else do you see? King, queen of hearts. The way this happened.
Okay.
So we have to put him on specifically on king, queen of hearts to make the call. But if we still put him on the hands that we talked about, he still has a better hand than us. But why would he bet those hands, right? Super messing with my brain here. Messing with my brain. What are your thoughts?
I don't know what my thoughts are. Again, I'm like, I don't know. Like, and because I said I was going to bet here, and then he didn't do it, he just checked it, and that guy bet. So immediately, like, I go to defense mode, and I'm like, no, he doesn't. His story doesn't make sense, so I'm going to
story doesn't make sense to me.
The story doesn't make sense to me, so that's why I'm going to raise it up.
But back to our conversation, right? He's either bluffing, which is obviously not calling a raise. You already beat that hand. You beat king, queen of hearts. So you beat his bluffs because you've got a 9, so you don't need to bluff. And is he betting kings, queens? Like, in my head, he's got to be betting a value hand. He's got to be betting either king, queen of hearts, and you already beat those hands, so just call.
Yeah. Queens.
But why would he bet queens with the ace on the board? He already checked back, so that tells me he's not too comfortable with his hand. So why bet the river? Why wouldn't he just check and get to showdown if he had queens? He's not value betting queens. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think at this point you have to make a decision. Like, is he bluffing or is he not bluffing? Because then you're either call or fold. Yeah. I don't know if I can.
You don't know if you can raise it up? You don't know if you can do a check.
You're basically, it's tough because you're right. It's so weird. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, does he just have aces, like a set of aces?
To set the trap.
Set a trap for us on the turn? Like, it just does not make sense. Because I was putting him on the same range you put him on, kings, queens, jacks, or tens. And now, why would those hands bet the river?
See, that's what
super weird.
Yeah.
But there's probably,
there's a lot more.
People are weird. People are weird.
Yeah, and there's a lot more.
You always got to take that people are weird thing in there. So, so what do you say?
I do weird things.
Because if you raise here, you're basically representing 10 jack, which is credible. You could easily have 10 jack. I don't think he has 10 jack too much. So let's see what he decides to do.
The speed, it doesn't seem like he has too much. I imagine he's quite aggressive, so I think he just keeps barreling jack 10. Yeah, it just feels...
Did you understand what he said there? So
it doesn't seem credible.
It doesn't seem credible, yeah. So he said he's excluding 10 jack from his range because he would have kept firing that on the turn, right?
Looks like he's going hand like pocket 10s through pocket kings. I've got a nice hand with OK removal. I don't have any hearts in my hand. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my hand into a bluff. So I go for the check raise and I bump it on up to 475.
That's my favorite move.
475.
That's my favorite move.
The check raise.
Yeah, that's just such an amateur thing to say. But I usually do have it on the check raise though. That's my favorite thing. It's because I have it on the check raise.
So we're check raising. We're
watching football also, so if you see us glancing up on the TV.
Poor Packers.
Yeah.
Check raising in this spot is just, you're only representing 10 jack. To me, he has some kind of hand of value because the way he played it, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Because you want to be doing this if he had kings, queens, or tens or jacks or something. So
let's see if I'm right. Let's see if my move was right. Let's see if the check
raise worked.
Talk to.
All right, so he had ace 9 of hearts.
Two pair.
Ace 9 of hearts.
Oh, I see it on the screen now. Oh, wow. Okay.
Ace 9 of hearts over there. Yeah. So, weird check from him on the turn, honestly. His hand got a ton better with 2 pair there and the nut flush draw, and he still checked it.
But it's funny because me being the villain, if I was the villain, I would have checked that on
You would have checked ace 9 of hearts?
I would have.
Yeah, I think the bet on the river from him signified he's comfortable with his hand.
Yeah, okay.
So
that the straight didn't scare him.
Think for a second, like, would he bet kings here? No, like, because I could easily have ace 2 or something, and I'm gonna call, and that doesn't work. So I think the bet on the river tells us he had some value hand or a stone cold bluff. So the check raise of the river, in my dumb opinion, is probably not the best move.
Okay.
If you did think he had a bluff, you could just call and you win with your 9. No need to bump it up to that, and you're only going to get called by
only
his value
have a check
hands.
raise. Like I like to do a check raise when I have it. So is that the only time recommended when the villain is pretty aggressive with me?
I wouldn't say only when you have it, because check raise is a good bluff technique.
And I don't do it all the time. I just
you have to mix it up. You can't only do it when you have it, because you'll
you only do it like once.
And you got to show it. You got to show the bluff. Say, hey, I can do this.
Or show the
nuts. Or show the
nuts.
And then
you show the nuts, and then you show the bluff. Just one time with the bluff. Only one time. I mean, for me at least.
So that was a super weird hand that had me confused. But I think when you looked at it on the river and you looked the whole compass of the hand, the whole hand, from the pre-flop, he's 3-betting, fires, checks. You check it to him on the river, which we both wouldn't have done. We both would have put pressure on him. But he checked, and then him to fire the river.
Well, because, I mean, if you would have put pressure on him on the turn right there and bet, I think he would have raised it up on the turn.
Yeah. I think the guy was comfortable with his hand with the ace 9 of hearts.
So then he was like, oh, okay, so I'll trick him a little bit and let him know that I don't have anything, but I do have it. I like this. But see, the biggest lesson, though, of this whole thing is to not get yourself into
bad
trouble.
Spots. There you go. Yeah.
And early
position, we can. And
these suited little, King 7s, Jack 7, Jack 8, Jack 9 in early position is the worst thing to do.
And we end up losing like $600.
Yeah, you always get yourself in a blender. And this guy just lost how much money?
$600.
$600 on a hand.
On the hand,
he probably was card dead all night, and he was like, "Oh, finally something suited. I could play it." So I think that is the biggest lesson of this whole thing here.
Yeah, lessons all around in this one. I thought this was a very interesting hand, the way it was played, and your analysis and my analysis of it. So good hand. Thank you, Buffalo Saints, for playing it for us. Because I'm sick.
Sucks
and
that you lost.
A degenerate sitting here in my house all by myself. So
all by yourself.
Yeah, you left me alone all day. I cried a little. Me and Lady had to hang out all day. But that's it for today. This is a great discussion between hand analysis, range analysis, and what to do versus the range. So thank you for that. I think we're getting better at this.
And how differently I play from you, even though you taught me everything.
I taught you, and how different your brain works than my brain. So good stuff. Until next week, Christmas is over.
It's been over.
Christmas is over.
Yeah. Okay, bye.